Hi, everyone. Welcome to Gratituesday. My name is Raina, and I'm a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. And we're going to do something a little bit different today. We talk a lot about how practicing gratitude in your life for the things that you have, big or small, can be like so rewarding and just give you like a sense of not like accomplishment and like just gratitude. It was what it is. And it helps with so many different things. But today we're going to talk about the 5 don'ts of practicing gratitude. So this is an article from Psychology Today, and it starts out by saying that gratitude is good for your health and well-being, good for your relationships. In fact, I've written about the benefits of gratitude here, and here. But research suggests that gratitude is not always good. Focusing on what you have instead of what you have not is generally a good idea, but there are times when feeling grateful may backfire. So here are 5 don'ts when it comes to practicing the attitude of gratitude. So the first one is don't overdose on gratitude. When it comes to keeping track of your gratitude, the adage more is better doesn't necessarily apply. If you set too high of a goal for your gratitude, you may find yourself falling short, which paradoxically could leave you feeling less grateful and happy than if you hadn't tracked your gratitude at all. In a study of gratitude journaling, people who tracked their gratitude once per week were happier after 6 weeks, whereas those who tracked their gratitude 3 times per week were not. If you find yourself hesitating when pulling pen to paper, you may begin to think your life isn't that good or you don't have that much to be grateful for. If that is the case, take a step back and focus on quality over quantity. And this is good because, when you're first learning to practice gratitude, I always say to do it every day, whether in the morning or at night or both if you want. Because it can set your day in a positive tone and it can end your day in a positive tone. And it doesn't have to be anything too big, right? So you can just simply put 3 things you're grateful for that day. I was grateful that, I got to have lunch outside because the weather was nice. Just little things. It doesn't have to be anything too serious. It's just a good way to start practicing gratitude. And then as you go, you begin to expand upon that and look to things that may be deeper or big events that have come up. Or sometimes it's good to always bring it back to the simplicity of it. However, if it starts to feel like you are writing the same thing over and over and over again, then you might want to step back and say, well, today, nothing really significant happened. I know that I'm grateful for the hot shower I had this morning and the nice lunch outside, but I don't necessarily have to write that down because we don't want to start feeling like we're in this monotony of gratitude because then it doesn't feel as impactful as it should. So it's okay to take a step back and to just do it once a week on maybe, just journal for the week of all the things that have gone on or, every other day, every couple of days. So don't feel that you have to do it in any specific way. These are just suggestions that we give you to help you start in the process. And then as you go, you can start applying these don'ts. And so you don't get like that burnout with different things. So the next one we're going to talk about is don't focus on gratitude for someone or something who isn't worthy. So if you are in a bad relationship with someone who is emotionally or physically abusing you, or who just can't make you happy, focusing on gratitude may be the wrong choice. This could be a romantic partner, a boss, or a roommate, or some other living situation more generally. By focusing on all the ways you appreciate your partner, boss, roommate, you may choose to stay where you are when you should be focusing on finding a way to get out of an unhealthy situation. This is not an easy thing to do. When you're in a relationship that is toxic, it is very difficult to just say, okay, I'm going to leave. When I have this conversation with people about toxic relationships, abusive relationships, and how the chemical reaction in these relationships is very similar to that of when we are using drugs and alcohol. So we go after drugs and alcohol because they make us feel good at first. We get that dose of serotonin, and it just gives us the opportunity to have some sort of euphoria for a little while. Then when the drugs wear off, we are worse off than when we started. So we're then chasing the drug to get that feeling again. And then it wears off, and then we have to go chase to get that feeling again. So you see that toxic cycle, right? So being in a toxic relationship does the same thing. The person is really nice to you and they make you feel great about yourself and you're on top of the world, and then they turn into somebody else and they treat you poorly or abuse you, and you're hurt and upset and even scared, but then they are nice again. And that's the part you want to hold on to. So when they aren't, you go chasing back to the nice person to hold on to that good feeling. And it creates the same cycle and the same chemical reaction. So I understand that this is something that is difficult to just walk away from. And please, if you are ever in a situation like this, call us. We will help you. We will put you in the right direction. We have resources for this. But with these types of things, if you aren't seeing the problems, then it makes it seem like you're being thankful for something that you shouldn't. So when someone isn't good to you or something isn't good to you, we don't want to find gratitude for that, because it can trick our brains into thinking that that's where we belong. And we don't want that to happen. So we want to save that gratitude for people who are good to us on a regular basis, people who don't judge us, people who love us unconditionally and appreciate us and do for us without wanting anything in return. So be very careful where you're placing your gratitude so you don't accidentally get caught up in something that isn't healthy for you. So the next one is, don't use gratitude to avoid a serious problem. Gratitude helps you focus on what is important instead of getting caught up in the little annoyances of everyday life. However, not all problems are little annoyances, and focusing your attention on things you appreciate may provide you with relief from serious problems, but the relief will only be temporary. In cases like these, a negative emotion like anger may actually be more constructive. In one study of romantic couples, expressing anger was more beneficial than being positive when discussing a severe problem, because the anger helped them address and resolve the issue rather than sweeping it under the rug. This kind of plays off the one we just discussed prior about having gratitude for someone who's not worthy of it. It's putting a blanket over the issue and, forgetting that it's there and focusing on what's good. But nothing ever gets resolved that way. So we want to remember that when you are having some issues that may be ongoing and you continue to just look at the positive side of that issue, you forget what the problem actually is. And it leaves the problem unresolved. So it's important to be able to look about what the issue actually is and be able to discuss that. And it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be upset. Those are normal emotions, as long as they are followed with conversation that helps you come to a resolution. Because we don't just want to be mean. right? We want to express our emotions and say, look, this makes me angry. I'm upset with you. I don't like when you do this. This isn't working. And you want to address that. You don't want to address the fact that, okay, this is an issue, but you do this and it's wonderful. And that's great. We want to be thankful for those things, but we don't want them to cloud and let us sit in something that we need to really discuss. So keep in mind when you do have a serious issue that you need to discuss it and address it and find some sort of resolution. And that's not always pretty, right? It's not always a very calm conversation that ends well. It could take, a couple of times of it coming up and discussing it. But make sure you're discussing it, and with the reality that, it's okay to be upset about things. So the next one is don't downplay your own successes through excessive gratitude. After something good happens to you, you will only benefit from thinking about and thanking the people who helped make it possible. But of equal importance is acknowledging your own role in the process. If you are someone who focuses on thanking everyone else and downplays your own hard work and talent to a fault, you may be hiding low self-esteem behind your gratitude. Don't let gratitude get in the way of appropriately taking credit for your own part in your success. You do the work, you make it happen, you should get the credit. And that's not to say that someone else needs to give you that credit or recognize it. You need to recognize it. You need to see your successes, be proud of them, accept them, and know that you worked hard for them. I say this in my 12-step meetings, and sometimes just in recovery itself. Because a lot of times people will thank God, they will thank a higher power, they will thank, their support system, and all of these things are very important, very important. And it's good to recognize those things and to be grateful for them. But you also need to recognize yourself, because while those things are a wonderful support system, and it's very hard to find recovery without having those things in your life, don't dismiss all the hard work that you have put into your recovery. And it's important that you acknowledge that within yourself. I always say, don't compare yourself to anyone else. Compare yourself to yourself. Notice how far you've come. Notice the challenges you've overcome, the things you achieved. So it's okay to be proud of yourself. You should be. Getting clean and staying clean and building a life and growing as a human being is something that you should be very proud of. So don't downplay your success by being overly thankful to everything and everyone else. Make sure you are thankful for you. And then the last one we're going to talk about is don't mistake gratitude for indebtedness. Gratitude is the positive emotion you feel when someone else helps you out. Indebtedness, on the other hand, generally leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth. Someone helped you and now you owe them. If you mistake feelings of gratitude for indebtedness, you may find yourself working hard to repay a favor, not to express your appreciation, but to take the weight of a debt off your shoulders. In close relationships, this need to repay tit for tat can actually lead to negative feelings between partners. Repaying someone who matters to you too quickly may be a sign that you don't want a close relationship. So this kind of goes back to those people that aren't worthy of your gratitude, and talking about how when someone does something for you with the expressed reason of having you owe them, and then to hang that indebtedness over your head. This is not a healthy relationship. Myself don't do things for other people for what I can get out of it. The only thing that I should be able to get out of it is the joy of being able to help someone else, not because of what they can do for me. And I surround myself with people who think the same way, people that I can go to when I need something or I need help with a problem, who are going to help me and not want anything in return. For a long time, I was in a relationship where would literally write things down and say, well, I did this, so you need to do this. And so I couldn't argue with it. Show me it written down, to hold it over my head, literally. This is a sinking feeling in your gut when you are around someone like that and they need something, because your first thought is, I don't want to help them. It's going to create this pit in my stomach, this dread of when they're going to come for this. I say this jokingly, but it's like they always say, don't do anything for the mob. Don't have them owe you one. And it's a scary feeling. And there are relationships like that where it's basically, what can you do for me? You know what I mean? Because in return for this thing that I did for you, you want to know that what that person is doing for you is out of the kindness of their heart and not about what that you can do for them. So if you have had any experience with some of these, keep them in mind when you are practicing gratitude. This should be a positive thing. So if at any time you feel that it is not that anymore, take a step back and look and say, what is going on in my life that I need to readjust this? Whether it's, doing too much, writing down too much, doing it too often, back off a little bit, do it once a week, do it a couple times a week, or do it when you have that feeling. I have a notebook in every area of my life, in my desk, next to my bed, so I can write things down and make note of them. So it not necessarily has to be something that you do every day. Once you've gotten into a rhythm of learning how to practice gratitude, keep your gratitude for people who are worthy of it, people who actually care, people who want to see you succeed, and don't use it as a way to gloss over an actual problem. Make sure you address those issues. These sorts of things will teach you communication, and it will teach you how to establish healthy relationships. Don't downplay your own success. Give yourself credit. Be grateful for you as well as the other things in your life. So as always, we welcome you to come in and join our meetings, talk with us. If you need anything at all, recovery is a huge umbrella. So if you are struggling with something under that umbrella, whether it is, a toxic relationship, mental health issue, employment, whatever it may be, we are here to help you. So you can come in, talk with us, give us a call, whatever you like. And, know that you are worth this effort. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you.